My curious and playful Gemini friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Gemini, there's a restlessness that hums just beneath your skin this week. It isn't loud or frantic, but it's there. A subtle tension, like a question you can't quite put into words. You find yourself tuning into the spaces between conversations, catching the flickers of doubt that pass through you when no one's watching. Something about the way things have been going feels unfinished, as if you're standing in a room half-lit by possibility, half-shadowed by uncertainty. You might notice yourself searching for cues in others' behavior, testing the air for signals of change, all while carrying an unspoken hope that the work you're putting in internally and out loud will finally land somewhere solid. Underneath it all, there's a quiet ache for recognition, not just from the world around you, but from your own heart. You're wondering if what you've been building within yourself is enough, or if something important is still missing. As the week begins, you're moving through your days with a measured focus. The 3 of Pentacles comes forward here, not as a grand announcement, but as a gentle acknowledgement of how much effort you've been contributing, often in ways others don't see. There's a steady pulse to your actions, a sense of wanting to do things well, to offer your skills and ideas in a way that matters. You might find yourself picking up on small details or noticing where the pieces could fit more cleanly together, whether it's in your work, your relationships, or even in the way you talk to yourself. This isn't about perfectionism. It's about an honest desire to participate, to collaborate, to be part of something that feels meaningful. At the same time, there's a vulnerability in this posture. You can feel the tension between wanting to contribute and fearing your voice will get lost in the noise. Maybe you've shared an idea and it was met with silence, or maybe you're still holding back, waiting for the right moment to step in. Underneath every conversation, every task, there's the question, am I seen for what I'm really bringing? This week, your emotional posture is quietly earnest. You're willing to invest your energy to show up for the things and people that matter, but you're also carrying a private concern that your efforts won't be witnessed, or that your contributions will blend into the background. There's a humility in your approach, but also a yearning, the kind that hopes for acknowledgement not as an ego boost, but as a sign that you truly belong. If you pause and notice the way you breathe through a long day, or the way your shoulders tense when you're not sure if you've done enough, you'll sense this longing. It's not about needing applause, it's about needing to know that what you're building with others and within yourself actually counts. And so, the path ahead emerges out of this place of quiet effort and emotional uncertainty. The strain of wanting to be seen, combined with the patience of your work, sets the stage for what comes next. When you're holding so much inside, your hopes, your doubts, your willingness to try, the world around you can start to reflect that complexity back in unpredictable ways. The inner tension of wanting to contribute to matter doesn't just sit quietly, it creates ripples in your environment, the things you do, the silences you keep, the way you move through your routines, all of it accumulates until the pressure can no longer be contained. Sometimes, the very act of holding back what you truly feel or need can create a build-up, like a storm gathering out of sight. And sometimes, the persistent effort to fit in or to be recognized can lead to moments where you simply can't keep up the same rhythms. The transition you're experiencing is less about one big event and more about the way small tensions stack up, until the ground shifts beneath your feet. The path isn't separate from your inner state. It's the natural unfolding of what's been brewing inside you for some time. In the heart of this week, the energy of the Tower presses in. You may sense it as a sudden jolt or as a series of small upheavals that catch you off guard. It's not necessarily dramatic on the surface, but there's a clear momentum gathering, a sense that something you've relied on, some structure or expectation, is beginning to crack. This could show up as a conversation that doesn't go as planned, a plan that unravels, or an internal realization that changes the way you see your surroundings. The Tower's presence isn't about chaos for its own sake. It's about the friction that comes when old patterns meet reality. You might notice moments of discomfort, times when you're pushed to question the way things have always been done. There's a pressure to let go of habits or roles that no longer fit, even if they once felt safe. You could find yourself surprised by your own reactions. Maybe you snap when you usually stay quiet, or you admit to a feeling you've been avoiding. This week, the momentum is unmistakable. External events may challenge your sense of stability, or you may feel an internal push to confront truths you'd rather avoid. The friction is real, and it can feel overwhelming at times. Yet beneath the surface, there's an invitation to see what remains when the unnecessary layers fall away. The discomfort is not punishment. It's the world's way of asking what you're truly ready to hold on to and what you're willing to release. There's no need to force clarity, but it's hard to avoid noticing where the cracks have formed. Sometimes, the only way to move forward is to let the old scaffolding fall, even if it means standing in the open for a while, exposed but honest. The possibilities that emerge from this moment are shaped entirely by the way you meet the rupture. The Tower's upheaval isn't destiny, it's a crossroads. If you turn away from the discomfort, the same patterns may repeat, perhaps more quietly, but always present. If you approach the experience with curiosity, with a willingness to witness what's real, something new becomes possible. It's only through conscious engagement, pausing to feel your reactions, gently questioning your assumptions, and allowing yourself to be seen as you truly are, that the potential for growth appears. This isn't a call to bravery or to grand gestures. It's an invitation to notice, to stay present with what's shifting, and to allow yourself the grace of not knowing all the answers. When you meet the moment as it is, rather than as you wish it would be, you create the space for something honest to take root. The outcome isn't fixed, it's a living question, unfolding in real time as you choose how to respond to the world's invitations and challenges. In the quiet aftermath of upheaval, the 9 of Swords makes itself felt. It's not the loud cry of disaster, but the private echo of doubts that linger when everything is uncertain. You might find yourself awake in the early hours, replaying conversations or worrying over what's been lost. There's an intensity to these thoughts, a sharpness that cuts through your usual logic. It's natural after a shake-up to question your role in what happened, to wonder if you might have done things differently, or to fear that the ground will never feel steady again. Yet within this space of vulnerability, something else takes shape. The discomfort you feel is proof that you care deeply. Your willingness to sit with your own questions, no matter how uncomfortable, is a kind of strength. The 9 of Swords is not a condemnation, it's a sign that you're alive to the realities of change. Growth is never tidy or painless. It often begins with the willingness to witness your own fears without turning away. You are invited this week to treat your worries with compassion, to recognize them as part of the process rather than a verdict on your worth. The invitation here is gentle. There's no need to wrestle your thoughts into submission. Instead, you might notice how each worry points to something you value, a relationship, a dream, a sense of belonging. The more tenderly you hold these concerns, the more space you create for understanding. It's in this process of noticing, of staying with yourself when things are hard, that you discover a quiet resilience. Growth this week is not about conquering fear, but about learning to sit with it, to let it pass through you, and to realize that you remain whole even in the midst of uncertainty. Across these days, the story of your week weaves itself through effort, disruption, and honest vulnerability. The Three of Pentacles shines a light on your desire to contribute, to be part of something meaningful, even when you're unsure if anyone sees the depth of your care. The Tower reminds you that change is not always gentle, that sometimes what is no longer needed must fall away to reveal what truly matters. And the Nine of Swords brings you face to face with your private doubts, not as enemies, but as companions on the journey. There's a quiet reassurance in knowing you are not alone in any of this. The work you do, the changes you weather, and the worries you carry are all part of being fully alive. Even when recognition feels out of reach, or when the world seems to shift without warning, you are still here, steadier than you realize, more resilient than you give yourself credit for. The discomfort is temporary, but the lessons you gather remain. By meeting each experience as it comes, by allowing yourself to be seen, and by holding your own heart with tenderness, you gradually build the kind of inner belonging that no amount of upheaval can take away. This week, let that quiet truth settle in, offering you a gentle place to rest, even amid uncertainty. Actionable insights for Gemini this week. Let the feeling of being unsettled guide you to check in with yourself more often than usual. Try naming one thing that matters to you aloud or privately whenever you feel tension rising. Notice where you are still trying to hold everything together and see if you might set just one small burden down. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am present with all that I feel. My efforts are real, even when unseen. I honor what is changing within me. I trust that I can move through uncertainty. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.